How are you? Good evening. This is Carlos Montero from Paris, and today kick off the Olympics 2024. And there is so much information we have to give you. A lot of controversy. Argentina started with soccer, with football. They tied the game. The VAR said no, it was an offside. They had to come back, the players. But I'm going to tell you, this is only a tease. I tell you later what's going on and how Paris is getting ready for this coming Friday. That's going to be the opening ceremony. It's really is fantastic city that's dressing up for a big event. It's the third time that Paris is going to be host of an Olympic game. In this special program, it's going to be with us. Let's go first with Eduardo Regonesi. Eduardo is going to be in different points of the city, and he's ready to talk to us. Eduardo, good afternoon.
Hello, Carlos. How are you?
What a
How's
day.
everybody
What a
at
day.
home? Finally, the day has come. The Olympics 2024 are on the way. As you said, though, the opening ceremony is not until Friday. We're 2 days away from that. But the action started today with a lot of controversy. As you mentioned, football and rugby started. We will be talking specifically about football because something that it's probably unheard of in any competition happened today. We will be talking about that. I'm not going to spoil you just yet. I'm going to invite you to come back because we're going to be talking about this also. The beautiful city. We are right in front of the Arc of Triumph because the landmarks of Paris are going to be one of the main protagonists of this story as well. We will talk about that in just a little bit. Carlos, I'll go back with you right now.
We have a lot of things to talk about. I know a lot of people on social media that are really upset of what's happened with Argentina, and other people are happy because they said it was unfair that Argentina tied that game. Another of our collaborators in this special program, we are going to be from today until the end of the Olympics, August 11, is Charlie Montero. Charlie has the chance to talk to different Parisians who are here experimenting this beautiful organization, the Olympics Games.
Hi, Carlos. How are you? We are here in Paris and the streets of this beautiful city, and I had the opportunity to talk to people about their excitement for the Olympic Games. So stay tuned because just in a little bit, we're going to listen to their testimonies.
Like I was telling you before, Charlie has the chance to talk to foreign people who are here in Paris and people from Paris who said, my God, this is running crazy. I want to get out of this city. But let's talk about sports today. It was a wonderful day for people who love football, for people who love soccer. The kickoff of this tournament was with Argentina. It was the first game of the day. Argentina played Morocco. It was a very exciting game, but it was really insane. It was crazy because Morocco was winning 2-0. They go to the second half. It was winning 2-1. And the referee said, we are going to give extra time. You know how much time he gave? 15 minutes. That's something unbelievable. And Argentina scored in the 15 minutes and the game tied. Finish game, finish over, stop. 1 hour later, the VAR said, I'm sorry, we were watching the video and it was an offside. The last goal of Medina, a young kid from my team, from Boca Juniors. What do we do now? They said, let's play 3 more minutes. The football players were already inside of the lockers. Many of them were taking a shower. They have to go back. They have to warm up for 10 minutes. They play 3 minutes and nobody scored, so that Morocco, who did a great World Cup in Qatar, finished 4th. Today started with a win. Great way to start. But it was not the only game. There were 7 games. Also today was Rugby 7. To talk about all this is with us Eduardo again. Eduardo, I was giving a brief summary of what's happened in Argentina game that we couldn't believe it because it just happened when we were here waiting to start this show. How people react. I know in social media people were upset And now, first people who are against of Argentina were upset. Now the Argentine people, they are really mad. Mascherano, the coach, Argentine coach, said, I never seen a circus like this. How people experiment this game where you are?
Carlos, you're asking me a very difficult task to explain what happened today. I think every football fan in the world should be upset. I was listening to your summary, and if I wouldn't have read it before, I would have thought that you were kidding, that you were joking, because this is something unheard of. There's a meme, there's jokes on the internet. You know what they say? I don't expect anything from you, and yet you still disappoint me. I think that's what people feel with FIFA. We've seen it in many occasions. The VAR especially, it's a disaster. It has not been applied well. In Europe, it works most of the time in good conditions. We saw it at the Euro. But in Latin America and other places, it's not the case. And what happened with Argentina, as you said, an hour and a half after the final whistle, the game is called the other way. It's simply unheard of. But let's talk about other results, because at the end of the official Paris 2024 page says Morocco won 2-1, so the game goes to Morocco. Spain defeated Uzbekistan as well in football. This is the first action today. And we will be waiting for Dominican Republic and Egypt. Apparently the game, it's done right now, we're live, but it's 0-0 between Dominican Republic and Egypt. And later on, Paraguay is going to be facing Japan. That's the three countries that we're going to be following, especially the Latin countries that we're going to be bringing you all the details. Hopefully the next games will be more straightforward. The game will stop at 90 minutes and we will not have any surprises later on. Let's talk a little bit about rugby, shall we, Carlos? I know Argentina, it's a big rugby country, and they started in a very, very good manner. They defeated Kenya. This is rugby 7. I want to talk a brief moment about that. It's not the traditional rugby that you see. It's 7 aside, 7 players per side, and much shorter games. Rugby games are 80 minutes long. These games are 14 minutes long, so this allows for the teams to play twice a day. Argentina played Kenya early today, defeating them, and they're going to be playing later on tonight against Samoa around 7:30 local time. Uruguay, the other Latin American nation, lost to Fiji, and they're going to be playing France later on tonight. Fiji is the 2 times gold medal. They won the previous tournament in Tokyo and Rio. Those are the first time that Rugby 7 was introduced as a sport, and Fiji has 2 gold medals, and Argentina is going to go to surpass the bronze medal they got last time around. Do we have time, Carlos, to talk a little bit about security? Because I don't know if you can see it right now. There's a lot of police officers behind me. You've seen it too as we walk around. A lot of fences, the streets were cut off. A lot of police officers. Just a quick fact, there's 45,000 police officers in France right now, and 10,000 soldiers that are being supported the French army. This is the biggest military camp in Paris since World War II. So it's a lot of security. They have drones flying around the city. They have helicopters, AI. They're using facial recognition to guarantee the security of these Olympic Games. That in terms of security. Yes, Carlos, I can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to ask you because about the security, especially about what's going to happen next Friday. For the first time, the opening ceremony is not going to be in a stadium. It's going to be on the Seine. It's behind me, the river Seine. But my question is what the President, Emmanuel Macron, said, that he wants that in the beautiful emblematic places of Paris, of this beautiful city, they have a chance to be part of the stadium. The stadiums are ready because Friday is the official opening and Sunday start and Saturdays too, you know, all the games. Are they ready, all the facilities?
We're talking about security. French president said that it was a crazy idea to have the opening ceremony in the Sena, which I bet was a big headache for security details to guard 6 kilometers of parade in the Sena. But as you said, most of the facilities they were working on them in these couple of days. They seem to be ready, although there's a bit of controversy. The Judo Federation, the president of the Judo Federation, said that their facility where they're going to be playing is not completed, it's not adapted properly for judo. He quoted, he in fact said, I don't want to talk about the specifics because I don't want to embarrass the local authorities, but he said that specific stadium is not ready. But just on that, a quick note on that, France decided not to build too many new stadiums. Instead, they decided to build an outdoor complex, this kind of the stadiums that you build and disarm after the games are done, using the historical landmarks. For example, the Eiffel Tower. Right on the feet of the Eiffel Tower, they built a beach volleyball course. We're going to have Chile, Cuba, and Brazil playing their matches there, the beach volleyball, with the beautiful Eiffel Tower as a backdrop. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see all these new stadiums. And as you were asking me, Carlos, most of them are finished and ready to go for the next couple of days.
It's going to be really beautiful, the open ceremony. It's going to be unique. At least 10,500 athletes, half men, half women, first time than in an Olympic you have equal number of male and female. But what I was want to ask you, Eduardo, about those games, there are two nations that are not going to participate in this Olympic, Russia and Belarus, because what's going on in Ukraine. What do people say about that?
It's a bit of a controversy. Russia was banned from participating. The athletes were not banned themselves. They can participate, but they can do it as independent, neutral athletes. They cannot wear a Russian flag. You're not going to see the Russian flag. Tennis player Dani Medvedev is one of the main ones, but only 15 Russian athletes are going to be here in Paris. That's a big change from last Olympics in Tokyo. Only 15 for such a big federation. But it's they decided to boycott the games. In fact, the Russian public televisions are not going to broadcast the game for the first time since 1986 as a sign of boycott to the French government.
Although we have many days to talk about these wonderful games, I'm sure, and they started today with controversy. Eduardo in communication with us. You know that today is the start of the sport. Yesterday was the Olympic Day. Why was the Olympic Day yesterday? Because there is a person, a particular, very eccentric, Pierre de Coubertin. He was the one who imagined to have those different nations competing. Let's talk a little bit about him. We have this profile of him.
The promoter of the modern Olympic Games, Pierre Freddy de Coubertin, born in Paris in 1863, still struggles today between light and shadow. Some see him with pride, but others point the finger at him. And not only because when he imagined the Olympic Games, he wanted to reserve the event for men and a certain social elite, far from the contemporary notion of universalism. Let's see. Pierre de Coubertin, his aristocratic family gave him the title of Baron. He studied in England, where he learned the doctrine of muscular Christianity, oriented towards the search for spiritual perfection throughout sport. Fascinated by the ancient Greece, its myth, gods, and heroes, including the Olympians, the young Baron de Coubertin was struck by the fact that during the Olympic Games, held for more than 11 centuries, all wars were suspended. Enthused with such ideas, Coubertin began to spread his sporting method. He created athlete societies and founded the Revue Athletique, the first magazine dedicated to sports. On June 26, 1894, the International Congress of Physical Education decided to institute the Olympic Games of the modern era and presented a motto, Citius Altius Fortius. Coubertin pulled some strings, raised funds, and on March 24, 1896, King George of Greece pronounced for the first time these words, I declare open the first International Olympic Games of Athens. Pierre de Coubertin was at the head of the International Olympic Committee until 1925, but over his figure hangs the shadow of his relationship with Adolf Hitler. Archives of the Third Reich give account of a letter dated March 17, 1937, where he thanks the German regime for its contribution to his Jubilee year, the 50 years of his action of promotion of the sports. Historians have documented Nazi Germany's trails of payments to an endowment fund created by Pierre de Coubertin. The Third Reich planned to open an International Olympic Institute in Berlin and courted Cobain, organizing unsuccessfully his candidacy for the Nobel Peace Prize. The promoter of the modern Olympic Games, he held points in common with Nazi ideology, such as not wanting to see women in the stadiums and believing in the superior essence of the white race.
Talking about controversy, let me finish with an update. Dominican Republic, who didn't have a professional league until 2015, today opening a tie with Egypt 0-0. And with that information, see you all tomorrow. Thank you for being with us.